Hello, and welcome to episode 28 of Red Dirt and Stardust, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition science fiction western and pirate campaign. So where last we left off, the party defeated the stingray-like creature that was coming after them in the skull of Modgud, as well as passing through the city of Bats, where Chauncey, being a Dhampir, came in clutch, having them skip the investigation and simply escort them out of the city. The party then landed in Ashenholds, the boat running aground, them having to find their own way inside. Shaw, unfortunately, getting snatched by a creature from the air. They made it into the city, where they made some assumptions about what the city might be. Attempting to read the signs, they heard a strange beeping sound. Trying to get away from it, they found themselves in a wide open, what appeared to be Market Square, the signs becoming more ominous. They kicked open a box to find body parts that came to life that eventually led to a horrible mound of bodies and flesh exploding from the sewer below them. They fought and defeated it. They also found what was creating the beeping sounds, and it was a strange black sphere. Two of them, in fact. However, the black spheres did not seem to notice them. They then decided to take refuge in a house, setting up Leomund's tiny hut for the first time and going to sleep. So, all of you managed to have an uninterrupted long rest.
Thank God.
However, when you all, one by one, begin to wake up, you see the room, of course, the same sort of pallid shadow as it was before, but in it, crawling along the ceiling, is a humanoid figure in rags, its skin an eerie blue color. It looks down at you, twisting its head. You see its face is not that of a human. Seems to have a bald head, big, almost octopoid eyes, and tentacles hanging from its face. As the tentacles undulate, you notice the suckers on the inside of them actually each have a white fang poking
Hey,
out of
Jormer.
them. You realize, as this thing is creeping along the ceiling, that Lehman's tiny hut is about to go down. And it does, and the creature turns and stares at you for a moment in surprise, as if it's not expecting you. And it seems to size you up. What would you all like to do?
I'll just cast message in his head. Are you a friend or foe?
It just screeches.
Yeah, I know, right?
It does not screech. Instead, it returns a psychic message. However, this one is emotional in nature, emotional and sensory in nature. You get a feeling as it emanates hunger. Your belly rumbles a little bit, as well as on your mouth, on your tongue, you taste some sort of, it tastes almost like metallic, almost like blood, but there's also this other strange flavor, this strange sort of incredibly salty flavor. If you would like to make a medicine check, you may.
Disgusted already. I'm 12.
It, given that you also taste the metallic tang of blood, it could be some sort of body part. It's hungry. It wants to eat.
Guys, it's
Makes
hungry
it
for
fit.
salty blood, guys.
If it helps, I rolled a 30, 20 for this.
Like, what's the clearance from here to the ceiling?
Um, Probably about, these ceilings are a little bit taller than the traditional ceilings, so I'm going to say about 12 feet.
Okay. Can't.
Good, Barry.
Oh, I'm gonna just go to the. I'm gonna run up the nearest wall and get on the ceiling with it.
It stares in surprise. And what is your dexterity?
My dexterity is a 14.
All right. Yeah, unfortunately, it has a higher dexterity, and it is going to use a bonus action. And I need everybody to make a intelligence saving throw.
Fuck.
As you hear a piercing whine in your ears and a crackle at the base of your skull as something emanates out from it as its brain glows inside of its head.
22.
7.
Uh,
Lyla got a
Chauncey
17.
got a dirty 20, and Jed. Ugh, Jed is probably not doing that good because he is not an intelligence character. Jed got 9.
So Jed and Shaw, this thing, whatever it is your brain briefly disconnects from your body. You stand there completely stunned by this thing, unable to get your mind sorted out, thoughts shattered and scrambled. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns. However, we're going to go to Chauncey, who did succeed the saving throw. What would you like to do? I'm assuming you're going to just smack it with the hammer.
Oh, like, it's hungering. Chauncey's like, it's hanging off of the ceiling. I see fangs in its suckers. This is not a good time. So I'm gonna swing at it twice with my hammer. Does a 16 hit?
A 16 does hit.
That's not great. 14 points of damage. Do I have to separate any of it out?
Nope.
Okay. 18.
18 hits.
One. That's a 6. That's a 10, 15, 20 points of damage on that hit.
Oof.
Just for good measure, does 23 hit.
23 does hit. Is this with Talipo?
This is a Talipo dart. She only rolled a 1, so it's going to take 4 points of force damage off that.
God damn, this thing is almost under half health. And now I need everybody to roll initiative.
Chauncey's good at one thing more than anything else, and it's hurting things. That sounds ominous.
I got a 10.
10 for Velantrios.
6 for Lyla and a 17 for Shaw.
12 for Chauncey, and Jed is gonna get a 13.
All right. So you are all literally going before the monster. So Shaw, you're first, with Jed next, and Chauncey on deck.
I have to at the end of my turn make saving throw, right?
Yes.
So my turn is just nothing and then saving throw?
Yes.
Intelligence?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. That was a lot of questions. Oh, and that one.
Your
No.
brain is.
Do you
You're still
remember to
trying
use
to
your portents?
piece your brain
don't want to
together.
waste my importance right now because what if something scary like last time happens? This is one creature.
Fair. Fair,
And
fair,
both my port die are really good today.
All right. So that is the end of Shaw's turn, followed by Jed.
The only thing Jed can do is try to break this at the end of his turn.
True.
He also rolled a nat 1.
So the two of you are just standing there staring at each other, trying to piece your brains back together as everybody around you leaps into action against this thing. A bonding moment. A true bonding moment. So now we go to Chauncey with Velantrios on deck, followed by Lyla.
Vampire attack. Vamp off.
The vamp off.
Dirty
I love
20 is gonna hit.
Yes.
That one's gonna deal 19 points of damage.
Ouchie wawa.
Will a 15 hit?
That just hits.
That one is going to deal 20 points of damage.
Oh my god. This thing
And
is like on its last legs. It is literally, you see its nails gripping into the wood like it's about to fall.
those two are stunned, and Chauncey's just going ham on the ceiling. It's like the worst version of dancing on the ceiling up there.
Whack-a-mole.
There's blood flying. It's beautiful. Haley Poe, she only rolled an 11 hit.
11 to hit, that does not hit.
Yep. Those are all my attacks for a turn. Take us home, Velantrios. You can do it. It's on its last legs.
Literally on its last legs. You could kill it with almost anything you have.
As long as you hit it.
Don't actually infestation it.
Imagine.
I will say infestation only works horizontally, so it will not like throw itself off the ceiling. Just warning you.
Thorn Whip.
Thorn Whip, cool. Make an
Oh,
attack
nice.
roll.
That's a cool one.
That is gonna be 28.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
wow.
that hits as the vine.
Nice.
Roll damage, because you're probably going to kill it, and you're going to be
Oh,
pulling
that
a
was a
dead
nat-
body to the ground.
That was a nat 20, sir.
Oh, it was a nat 20. You'll get double damage. So
Yeah.
It'll
It's
deal
dead.
8 points of damage.
Yeah, because it's 46, so
it's 46, and 2 of them automatically deal 12. So yeah.
Yeah.
So do I roll twice?
It's
You're
dead. You
not
don't have to
rolling
roll.
at all because it had 8 points, which means if you dealt a critical hit, you easily dealt over
You
8
tore it in
points.
half.
So you literally whip with the vine, expecting to, wrap around and pull it off the ceiling, but instead, you just whip it in half, and its 2 halves of its body fall onto the ground as your vine back to you.
Whip it
Ugh.
real good.
Yep.
I'm gonna
And
drop
it is
off the
now dead.
ceiling and just try to wake these two up.
It's going to be about maybe 30 seconds before you manage to shake your brains back together and you are
Try
no
slapping
longer
them.
incapacitated. I'd like to think that like you all both come back to consciousness right as Velantrios is just like, and you're just like, no.
That was completely unnecessary.
And he's been in the forest all so his like hands are probably really rough.
Very calloused. What
Oof.
was that? Does anyone know what that was?
You can make an Arcana check.
Can I look at the body and do a check?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, 20.
I'm gonna guidance my check because my tools, my intelligence.
Oh, Lyla got 17.
18.
So there are these creatures of legend that exist somewhere off in the astral sea called mind flayers. They're creatures that survive upon brains and were known to have a great empire before it fell. This one seems to have been emaciated and also has vampiric qualities as you look at the fangs.
A vampiric fucking mind flayer? What are you doing to us?
Also, I would like to say that at this point, knowing the nature of this creature, that it both eats brains and has vampiric qualities, you realize that the salty taste, along with the coppery taste, might be brain and spinal fluid. It was craving blood and brain and spinal fluid.
Great.
I
It
love
wanted
the
to
idea
eat our brains and our spinal fluid, guys. Awesome. That's what the salt. Yeah.
I love the idea that it would try to feed on Jedidiah and it would die of starvation.
You'd be surprised.
So this is one more thing we get to look out for around here. So we have weird drip drop orbs, boop boops,
There's a
dead
lot of
bodies coming to life, vampiric
And-
mind flayers, and scary dragon things.
At least they're not like intelligent vampires, right?
He didn't. He when I was talking in his head, he seemed to understand what was going on, at least.
I mean, more intelligent vampires. Like, if these were like City of Bats vampires, I'd be much more concerned.
Yeah, I also seem to be alone, like hunting solo. So hopefully solo. I don't know. Looking around, is there any more of these? Real quick.
You do not see any more of them.
Cool. Like now that I think about it, was it hunting solo?
All right.
We
So
should
now
try to
that-
make our way to.
I was just about to ask,
Chauncey
what do you
was
all
just
want to
gonna say
do?
We should try to make our way to the center of the city as fast as we can.
Yeah, we should at least
yeah.
make it to the next ring, which was the forested park looking one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's double time it.
All right. So yeah, you all duck your heads out. You do not hear the beeping and booping of the horrible spheres, and you dash out across the open market square. It takes a couple of streets before you make it to the edge of this overgrown. Clearly, at one point, it was well taken care of, but now, not so much. It is overgrown. These trees seem to twist and knot together. The bark seems to split and ooze this strange sort of black goop that still seems to flow and drip. The graying leaves rustle, and you hear almost whispers, as if there's something in the forest. The pathways are completely and utterly overgrown. The flagstones are pushed up at strange angles as roots begin to push their way up. You also notice that the trees almost gain eerily human-like characteristics. The way that a trunk splits almost looks like a mouth. The way a knot twists almost looks like an eye that leaks the black goop. The branches almost seem to form arms, but it seems more of just an effect of the area than people turned. Again, you still hear the whispers.
I don't like this place, guys.
You don't say, Shaw.
I think maybe Lovey May should lead the way.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go. Chauncey and Lovey May are gonna lead the squad because he's got the armor and she's got the unsurprisable eyeball. Some no bullshit.
All right. So you all head along a path, the only path, it seems, at least from this section, until you get to a sort of crossroads. It's where this side road meets a bigger path that seems to go, once again, circumventing the city. You have to choose to either go left or right. However, to the left, sorry, there is a thickening grove of trees that seem to grow over the flagstones, blocking the path. Unless you want to hack your way through it, it's probably not accessible. However, the path to the right is.
Looks like
Why do
the
I
path
feel that?
wants
why do I
us to
feel
go
this-
right.
I don't know. Somehow I feel like this is a trap.
Well,
The obvious way, you know.
that path of least resistance isn't always bad, you know?
Okay, but I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say I told you so.
It's also the most expedient path for our goals, so
We are in a hurry.
Yeah. And I don't have a machete on me. So Lyla may still have that hatchet I gave her a few weeks.
Lyla, do you still have the hatchet?
I believe she does. But she kind of looks at it and she's like, you think I'm going to do this work?
In these heels?
In these heels? Nuh-uh, darling.
To the right of it.
Could we have the big guy, please?
Valikar?
Lilac doesn't just change on command.
We'd like to swap our Pokemon out, please.
Lyla,
Lyla,
our
return!
Pokemon. Lyla, return. Valikar, I choose you. Oh, man. Okay. So as you continue on, you begin to see sort of blue lights off in the distance. They're static, evenly spaced. Looks like probably a building of some kind. But you begin to smell something.
Wow. Just smell like rotting
Rotting
bodies.
corpse.
God damn it.
Horrible, rotting corpse.
Smell
And
familiar.
Get to a clearing. The path continues on past this thing, but there's a planter, a circular planter with a path around it. And in the center is a mound with these huge buds, almost this sort of strange goldenrod mustardy yellow that twists together with the points, the tip of this bud being the sort of blood red color that seems to bleed down. It has this ferny sort of plant to it, along with vines that seem to twist. The smell seems to be emanating from this plant.
Sounds like a pretty plant. Just a
I
smelly one.
cast Speak with Plants.
Oh.
Oh, you're casting Speak with Plant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, speaking of, how is your plant doing?
I don't
Did you
know,
leave him
back
on the ship?
Oh, yeah. Probably for the best, let's be honest.
Let's see, where is it? Expect growth.
Yeah,
What's
because
the range?
it's a little different than Speak with Animals.
Do you have to touch the plant?
There we go. You imbue plants with 30 feet of you with limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with you and follow your simple commands.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, so it's like charmed by you?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't know the simple commands part. That's interesting.
I can question it about events, the spell's area with events in the spell's area within the past day, gaining information about the creatures that have passed, weather and other circumstances.
All right.
So, steam that.
All right. So you cast Speak with Plants.
Yes. Sorry, I just have to do the spell slot. There we go.
All right. So, what would you like to say?
I would like to ask it if it or if any dangerous creatures are in the immediate vicinity.
You watch as this thing, as it realizes that you can talk to it, that it can understand you, the whole plant twists. You hear this cracking sound as it seems to actually physically haul itself up. And as it does, as is the nature of this city, underneath of it, as its ferns move aside, you see skulls in between the vines. Underneath, the soil is packed with bones, rib cages, skulls, stained red, almost gore and viscera dripping as if it's forming its own organs. Vines and roots come out as it pushes itself up and seems to rotate.
Yeah,
And it just kind of stares at you for a moment.
Chauncey, this doesn't look good. I don't know what Velantrios is doing, but this doesn't look good.
And you asked, are there any dangerous creatures nearby? And
Yeah.
it responds with, there's some vines in the building over there. They strangle. Are you here to feed me? It has been so long since a gardener has fed me.
If you would like, you can help. You can help us with those mind flayers, and you can feast on them.
I have not seen these mind flayers. Are they tasty?
Have you ever had calamari?
No. What is calamari?
It's like octopus, and it's very chewy, it's very flavorful, and it's very yummy.
Velantrios, is this going good or going bad?
Which just weighs them off.
I have never heard of this octopus. Is it like, and its roots kind of reach up towards it, and a cavity just opens like a mouth, mucus dripping as the roots go inside and pull out what appears to be a half-digested zombie body like this. And then
Okay,
it
this
just
really doesn't look good.
slides it back in before the orifice closes.
It might actually taste better.
I doubt that.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Is it showing him?
It literally just split itself open. I think it was that its stomach.
I hope so. The alternatives are more disturbing.
Showed its rectum to us.
Quite hungry.
Yep, come with us, and you will be able to feed as much as you like.
Come with us.
And it gets up.
Didn't hear that part.
It seems to crawl over towards you on
Velantrios!
all of its roots.
Velantrios!
And since it's charmed, it doesn't harm you.
I don't like this.
Yeah. And it seems that this thing, whatever it is your friend for now. How long does Speak with Plant last?
Let me check.
For no particular reason whatsoever.
Speak with plants. Where are...
Oh, 10 minutes. There you go.
Oh, 10 minutes. Okay, good to know.
Also, Velantrios, also speak with plants. You could have made those plants move out of the path. It literally says right there.
Well, this is what we've done now. So this giant mound of something is now following you all.
So, Velantrios, what just happened?
We have a new friend.
I don't like it.
For 10 minutes.
Nope.
Remember when you said that you're going to be able to tell me I told you so later? Okay, I'm going to be able to tell you I told you so later. We're just...
Velantrios turns around to the plant and is like, by the way, where could you tell me where the largest group of undead are?
and it kind of turns and then
Yeah.
turns towards the lights.
Can you do me a favor? I want you to go over there and I want you to completely fill yourself. Just eat to your heart's content.
And it starts wandering off towards this building.
What is happening?
Are you just gonna be waiting?
No.
Or okay. So let me see. It doesn't. It does not have siege monsters. So that's interesting.
It's just gonna like. Velantrios, I'm so confused as to what's happening right now. Stop shushing me! Tell me what's happening.
So it gets to this building. It walks for a little bit and gets to this building. I'm gonna say at some point the spell wears off. But you didn't treat it terribly. This thing does actually have mobility, so it's going to continue walking on its own. It's not just going to like plop down or anything. It's going to continue walking on its own. Now you just can't understand it. It gets to the door of this building, and you watch as the vines begin pushing on the door as it begins to creak and crack. The vines smash through the windows. Additionally, one of the orifices opens up and it pulls out some corpses that just stand up and become zombies, and they begin smashing the windows as well and crawling in through the windows as this thing tries to rip the front of the building off.
Velantrios, do you want to explain to us now what is happening?
Why is it attacking the building?
Oh, I just convinced my new friend to deal with the nearest, biggest zombie problem.
Okay, should we be here?
I mean, we can go. He has it handled.
Okay.
All right.
Bon appetit! Velantrios yells out to his new plant buddy. Bon appetit!
You just say bone apple tea?
Well,
He did grow
I
up in the
guess
forest. He may not understand how the saying goes, you know? Does the
alright.
path branch somewhere else now? Can we leave?
Yeah, let's
It
go.
seems the path leads directly to this building. So you can go through it, or you can try and go around it.
Let's go around it.
Yeah, I'm not going in there, not with those weird zombie walkie plant buddies.
Yeah, let's try to go around the building.
All right. Someone or anyone make me a survival check.
1 second.
Who's the best at survival?
I am.
Are you? What's your bonus?
+5.
Okay, you barely beat me. All right, I'll let you do it.
Mother of God. I hate 7.
There's just the weeds are so thick. The branches are so thick. They seem to weave into one another. It's very hard to try and find a way through it. You prick yourself on thorns. That sticky black stuff is incredibly sticky.
Well, you look like you're getting stuck.
You could roll too.
Do you want help? Can I help?
You can provide the
Yes.
help action if you would like, and then Velantrios, you can roll again with advantage.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Do it.
cast guidance on this one, so add an extra d4.
Yeah. So roll twice, take the higher number, and then
Me
roll
and Chauncey are
a d4
both
and
just
add
down
it.
here like, hey, look, like this, you really want to avoid these.
It's another 7.
Okay, did you
Add a D4?
add a
Did you-
d4 to it?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, so it doesn't. It goes better.
Was it a 7 on the die, or was it a 7 after the modifier?
It was the 7 after the modifier.
With advantage, did you roll twice?
Oh,
Oh,
roll again.
Roll
Okay.
again.
Survival.
Oh,
Yay!
12.
Okay,
better.
12
Plus
plus 4,
16.
so 16.
Okay. You just about managed to hack your way through these vines and through the bark, and you manage to make your way through this sort of wooded area, squeezing between trees. It takes a bit, but you manage to get to a path, a flagstone path.
Careful, Miss Lyla. Don't snag your dress.
You just hear a ripping noise behind you. Oh, damn it. As you all continue on to this path and through let me quickly flip back over to my notes
Good job with the giant plant monster.
because I have a lot of shit. All right. So you all make your way down this path. Takes maybe 45 minutes of walking, weaving your way through this sort of labyrinthine maze, eventually making your way to an exit point where you exit out onto a very large plaza with what appears to be quite a few governmental buildings, as well as the facade, at least, of a gigantic cathedral.
Oh, shit. Do we make it to the next circle?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Cool.
There is, of course, rubble everywhere. There are bits of this sort of golden flame that's sort of flickering at the edge of things. It seems this fire doesn't go out very easy. The city has definitely been destroyed for what seems like hundreds, if not thousands of years, but yet this flame is still burning in bits and pieces. Statues are toppled over, the ground is ripped up, there's skeletons everywhere.
Chauncey, is
boy.
that the flame that we're looking for?
I'm gonna investigation check the nearest speck of this non-dying flame.
Sure. Roll me an investigation check.
Oh, fuck me. That's only a 16.
A 16 on the die? Or
That's a 16 after my modifier.
I'll turn your die into a 16.
That's a 24 after my modifier.
All right. You get close to this, and strangely, the flame doesn't feel hot as you put your hand kind of close to it, but there's almost this sense that you get that if you were to touch it, it would burn more than just your flesh. It is also definitely, if Jed or Velantrios were to stick their hand in it, above game, their resistance to fire damage would not affect the damage. They would take full damage from this fire, regardless of their resistance to fire damage.
Fun.
Kind of magical fire.
It
Yeah,
is
just
a
like-
very magical fire. And you also notice that this is a patch that's just burning on a stone. It has no fuel. It has no theoretical fuel that it could be using. It's just burning like a small torch. It's almost as if somebody took the flame off of a torch and just set it down on the stone. There's no fuel and it's still burning.
How do I trap this? Make it movable? That's the question. Chauncey's just like, how do I move it
Do you
without
have do you have a glass jar? A vial? Do you have
Oh, I mean, it may overheat though, but
you try it?
experimentation. Chauncey's gonna pull out a glass vial and like a pair of tongs and try to get some of the flame in the glass
Just, like,
vial.
scoop it up.
As it touches the tongs just start melting immediately.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Bad idea. Sorry.
It's weird because as you're like, the tongs are very, I'm assuming they're not like gigantic tongs. They're like pretty regular sized tongs. Your hand is so close to the fire, but it's not singeing or burning. But when you stick the tongs in it, the tongs just start melting like you've stuck them in magma.
This may require more prep work than I have time to do, but we're on the right track.
I believe in you. I know you can come up with something.
Oh, it's not me. I'm worried about figuring out a way to transport or use this stuff. It's not me at all. But think about it. Limitless energy. Energy with no discernible requirement to produce itself.
Energy.
I will
looking
say, since
around-
you are a Dhampir and may have sensitivities to holy water, you also get the sense that this thing is holy to some degree. You get the same sort of sense of like if you were to hover your hand over holy water, or even just lightly bop the surface of holy water, it doesn't burn your skin, but it is almost like pins and needles irritating. And you get the sense that if you were to touch this flame, not only would it burn, but it would burn a little worse for you, seeing as how you are partially what might be considered an unholy creature.
Oh, it's fire that discriminates.
Fire capable of a
Discriminatory,
hate
yeah.
crime.
Well,
It's
you
the
know,
other type of flaming.
Oh, this fire's homophobic.
I was gonna say, when you attach things to gods, stuff like that just happens sometimes.
Where was this fire on? Oh God, what was the day that they stormed the Capitol?
Until January 6th.
January 6th. Where was this fire on January 6th?
I have a feeling that it would not be falling on the Capitol, but might be falling on the insurrectionists. But anyway,
Okay, looking around, can I just see if there's been any foot traffic through here? Because we're looking for someone who came here recently, right? So like just in the general vicinity.
Yeah, can I make
um,
an environment check or whatever?
I would say survival or perception.
So I'm gonna use the help action on Velantrios.
Natural one.
So that's +4.
So help action, you roll 2d20 instead of 1, and you take your higher result.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, nice. 21.
21. Yeah.
All right. So there was a bit of foot traffic, it seems. There was some very recent foot traffic, but there was also some foot traffic that is surprisingly fresh for the time, as if they were the first ones to disturb this.
And they're not like undead.
Doesn't seem like it, but there is incredibly fresh tracks, probably several days old, but then there are ones that look several years old, definitely way too young to be just like general foot traffic of the city before whatever happened.
So people have been through here multiple times.
Mhm.
Apparently.
Good job, Landrios.
Oh,
Thank you. Also, thank you, Chauncey.
oh, it's fine. We should probably get moving though. Or
Yeah, I don't like being out here in the open. Government
Mhm.
buildings or giant burning church?
Government building.
All right. If everyone is in agreement.
government
I'm
buildings
not a
first.
leader. I'm a follower.
All right. So you all begin heading towards one of the government buildings. As you get closer to the entrance of this government building, you notice the older tracks that you were able to notice actually go inside of this particular building.
Oh, this will be fun.
As you enter this building, pushing the door aside, the wooden door, it seems to be possibly what you might consider a bank. There are a lot of places where it looks like people would sit. At the back, there's a symbol that looks like sort of coins, money of some kind. Once again, written in a language you do not understand. There appears to be a big, showy safe door at the very back, which has been undisturbed. There is a hole in the roof, but otherwise it's relatively pristine. There is some rubble. There is also what appears to be a campfire, a rudimentary sort of tent, which is a bit strange. It seems like a tent that you could have bought back somewhere on Ponderosa, probably about maybe 15, 16 years back, maybe more. There are also multiple dead bodies. There are 5. 2 of them are human, clearly, or humanoid to some degree. 3 of them appear to be some sort of horrible, cyclopic, hunched over, twisted creature that has clearly been hacked apart. But the bodies sustained quite a bit of damage to their actual flesh, seeming to have been ripped and rended at. It's kind of hard to tell in the light and the shadows and the rubble and dust that's around exactly what they look like. But if you would like to make an Arcana check or a Nature check, actually, no, not a Nature check, just an Arcana check. You certainly may.
Arcana. I can do Arcana pretty good.
12.
I'm not even gonna bother.
I got a 24.
24. The 3 horrible cyclopic creatures are creatures known as Nothics. Nothics are wizards who have come too close to an eldritch secret that they were unable to handle, and this is one of the consequences of what happens to these wizards. They get twisted into these horrible monsters that do nothing but hunt secrets just to have them. They don't even have any spell casting abilities anymore. They are just twisted beyond what they once were.
I'm relating that to the party in Chauncey voice.
Putting 2 and 2 together, does it look like the humanoid body, like the other bodies were camped here and attacked by the Nothics?
It does appear that way.
Okay, okay.
Can I go and check out these bodies?
Yes. One of them appears to be, just from the way that the skin has dried, since it's very dry here at this part, the skin is dried out rather than rotted off. The one that is outside of the tent, in its hand is gripping a sword, a long sword. But the pommel of the sword looks almost like a cane that someone would use to walk with. It has a plain old hide armor, but it has a cloak that has a few almost what look like Boy Scout patches on it. There are clearly places where more have been ripped off, but there are a few left. The figure that is crawling out of the tent appears to have been reaching for something. Pinned under the hand is a piece of paper that appears to have been ripped out of a book. And in the other hand, appears to have at one point been gripping something that might have been a wand or a staff, but it isn't anymore. And opened right next to it, as if it were reaching in and pulling it out of a bag, there's an open bag.
I'll go to the open bag.
I will say the humanoid figure with the sword, you do see it has pointed ears and it seems to be masculine, whereas the one in the tent seems to be feminine.
Can I get the paper that the one was clutching?
As you flip it over, it appears to be the page of a spell book, but without the other half of the page, it is completely and utterly useless.
I guess the cloak and the sword, I'm assuming, are magical from looking at them.
I can ritual cast detect magic.
You gonna do that?
Sure.
All right, so it takes a little bit. So
But is there anything in
yes,
the back?
the cloak and the sword are magic. As well as there is some magic inside of the bag.
Oh, well, I can cast Identify
Sure.
virtually.
All right.
If you want to ritual identify one, I can ritual identify the other.
Let's go.
So which one are you doing?
I'll do the sword.
I'll do the cloak.
All right. So the cloak is a robe of useful items. The patches that it has left are the bullseye lantern, the ladder, the rowboat, and a spell scroll of Zephyr Strike. The sword is a veteran's cane. As a bonus action, you can change it between a cane and a longsword. However, the
Ooh.
longsword itself is not magical in the sense that it's a +1 or would deal special damage or anything like that. It's just, it magically transforms into a sword.
And Chauncey, you said there was something magical coming from the back?
Magical in the bag, yeah.
Investigate
Alright.
the back.
What's
I
in the
guess.
bag?
Yeah, what's in
Who's
the bag?
investigating the bag?
Yeah, sure. I'm like,
Possible.
All right.
Can I like not put my hand in the bag though? Like maybe just like
Dump the bag out?
Yeah.
As
Just
you
in
dump the
case.
bag out, you get this sort of mess of papers that look like they have kind of dried beyond repair. Falling out are 3 scrolls, as well as 2 things that kind of catch your attention in particular, Shaw. A crocheted stuffed animal shaped like a tressum
Oh,
and a locket.
Velantrios just holds gives him the bag.
Oh my god. Okay. Let me look at the locket.
You pop open the locket. How well do you remember your parents' faces?
Oh no. No. Come on.
Oh, no.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh.
that is a picture of your mother and your father and baby you in this locket.
Okay, let me look at the bodies again.
Oh my god.
I would say, given a hot second to really investigate it, the one that was in the tent was your mother, Renee Zann. And the one that had the sword was your father, Gerald Zann.
Guys, this is my mom and dad.
It's a shame none of us subclasses therapists.
I
Velantrios is just gonna grab Shaw and hug him.
Oh, what were my parents doing here?
I'm gonna investigate the tent and see if there's any indication on inside the tent.
All right, roll me an investigation check.
18 plus 8. That is 8.
You look inside the tent and it seems that there is a bed, pillows, maybe a lantern, some food that has long since gone off. It seems these people were definitely taken by surprise in the middle of the night, were barely able to get themselves prepared up, able to fight before these things got to them, but they also managed to kill them as well. It seems mutually assured destruction.
I'm gonna pull over a log or some bit of rubble and be like, I think you need to sit.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's Chauncey's just gonna busy himself with making up a fire and start to make food. He's like, I don't know how to comfort people other than making them stuff.
We could cremate the body so they don't rise up as undead.
Well, I mean, that should be Shaw's decision. Shawthorn, what's appropriate in your culture?
At least I guess that way I could take them home.
We could also chop them up and put them in one of the bags of holding.
Oh my god, what is wrong with you?
If some people of certain religious faiths don't believe in cremation, they think it destroys the soul.
But your
I do prefer.
other option is to chop them up into bits and transport them in a bag.
I mean, just like the major limbs off so that you can. I'm not helping, am I?
No. Jesus, for a Dhampir, I thought you would be better with death.
Okay, you didn't put it the best way, Chauncey, but you're onto something. Maybe at least then I could still take them home, and they wouldn't be ashes.
Okay.
I need a minute. um. Oh my god. Well, okay, I'm gonna grab the little tressum and the locket, and I'll put the locket on, and I'll just sit there and hold the tressum. Fuck me, what do I do?
As you do that, you feel a hand on your shoulder.
Oh fuck.
Oh no.
The rest of you see a ghostly apparition standing next to Shaw. Shaw, would you like to describe what your mother looks like?
Oh
Oh
no.
my god, she's a tall, lithe, very pale-skinned, pale woman with long silver hair and blue eyes. She'd be dressed in like a robe of some sort. That's so terrifying. Okay, so I look, it's my mother who is dead.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Mom?
I'm so happy you're safe.
What were you doing here?
It's a long story, she says, and she kind of like sits down on maybe a portion of the rock that's jutting out. I was hoping to be able to tell you one day. We heard rumors about this god flame and having had you within the past few years. We, of course, were a little scared for the safety of the world. We're unsure of what it does. And we decided that we would come out of retirement just one more time, make the trip, be gone for a few months, come back, tell everybody how dangerous it was not to go there. And then we'd be able to watch you grow up. But seems things don't always go to plan. Unfortunately, your father ended up moving on some time ago. We couldn't leave this place. We're stuck here relatively. We couldn't return to you. We didn't know if you would ever find us.
Didn't even mean to. I would have never expected to look for you here.
It's a bit far away. It seems that since we've failed in our mission, it seems there might still be people after this.
That's why we're here. There's a bad person after this, Chauncey.
Chauncey?
Hi, Miss. What's Miss
Zon. Zon.
Zon Ghost? It doesn't say Ghost Lady. Hi, Miss Zon. Have you maybe seen a feral-looking Genasi woman surrounded by robots and probably carrying guns?
Unfortunately, I have not. I've been stuck inside of this building for the past few years.
Hey, so she
So sorry to hear that.
have those strange little eggs floated in here yet?
Boop boop.
No,
Okay.
the mage hunters, as we called them, are able to sense spellcasters. The
Oh.
beeping is almost like a sense that they have. They unfold into a sort of scorpion-like creature with many teeth and claws and hunt down spellcasters. We're unsure of what they would be used for, but if you could avoid them, that would be the best possible option.
Well, that's great for us.
I mean,
I
that's going to be a little difficult for most of us to stop casting spells.
yeah. Tell me about it.
Um,
I want to let you move on. But before, did y'all find out anything about the God Flame or how to contain or
It can't be, as far as we know. The best working theory we have is it's what happens when a god dies an angry and wrongful death. It's possible that this city, its inhabitants, managed to trap and kill a god. And its rage was so great that it showered the city in this fire, and it cannot be contained. It is the spark of divinity shattered. It's not meant to be held by humans or mortals of any kind. That is our best approximation.
uh, so have you, in your research, did you discover any alternative way of capturing it or carrying it?
No. It will eventually burn itself out and return to the universe, but it is too much for most things to handle. It burns most things easily, melts metals. Sometimes, if it's hot enough or in a large enough amount, it'll burn through stone.
Is there anything it doesn't burn?
No.
But
It
okay,
is a
so
spark of divinity, a spark of creation. It can undo creation.
uh,
I'm just gonna like stand up and like put my arms out for a hug.
oh no.
She does manage to hug you back. It's weird. At first, you feel it's going to pass through you, and then seems to be enough solidity that you can actually get a hug. It's strangely cool, like a spring breeze. It's
And I'll
not
just
warm.
I'll just hug her and like whisper in her ear and be like, I love you, Mom, and I miss you, and it's okay. You can move on now.
I know. And I'm so happy to see that you are trying your best to make the world a better place. And it seems like you've surrounded yourself with great friends, good people.
If it helps, your son is probably the nicest one out of all of us.
I'm uh, I'm not surprised. Unfortunately, I have a few spell scrolls, but my spell book was eaten by one of the Nothics. But if you have something like perhaps a gemstone or a crystal ball, I would be able to pass on some of my spells to you.
Chauncey?
I
Yeah,
actually,
Shawthorn has the crystal ball.
yeah.
Oh.
I was like, I actually have one of those.
Yeah, as you pull out the crystal ball that Chauncey made for you that is functioning as a +1 arcane grimoire, she looks at it and that is amazing. Where did you get it?
One of my friends made it.
I knew you had good friends. I could tell from the moment they came in. This is the last of what I can give you, and I will miss you. And I love you. And I'm proud of you. And she rests her hand on the crystal ball before she fades from existence. And the crystal ball glows. And for a moment, you swear it contains the multitude of stars and galaxies of the universe. And then it is just a crystal ball. So now the crystal ball not only functions as a +1 arcane grimoire, it also functions as an astromancy archive.
Wow. Okay.
So let me pull up the thing real quick. It's going to be awkward because I'm smashing two magic items together. I ended up doing this last campaign. But it just fit so well. So yeah, you get some spells. I will say of the spells, if you do not have a spell slot to cast them, you cannot cast them, but they exist in your spell book
Okay.
as spells that are just there as long as you are attuned to the spell book. You can spend 1 minute to replace one of your prepared spells with a divination spell from your spell book.
Okay, cool.
And you essentially get a D4 bonus or penalty. It's kind of a pseudo additional portent, except instead of it being a straight number, it's a push and pull.
Nice. Okay. It's kind of like Bane or Bless-ish in a way.
Except you're only giving it to one roll with a reaction like a portent.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah, and it has 3 charges, so you can choose to either switch out a spell for a divination spell with 1 minute of study or
Oh, there. Okay, I
push
found
or
the
pull or
item now.
roll. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
Cool.
it is going to be awkward because you're technically only attuning to one item. It
Yeah,
functions
I
as
just
both of those items.
I just went ahead and like unattuned the ring of truth telling, but I'll just remember that I still have advantage on insight checks. So
Okay. Yeah,
that's
so then
easy
then
enough.
mechanically, yeah, that's easy
Yeah.
enough.
That
Yeah.
way D&D Beyond can still manage it.
Yes, because otherwise it's just going to be insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I will say, because your mother did this and under ghostly powers, you have attuned to this item. You do not need to spend a short rest attuning to it. It is automatically attuned to you. So you can use all of its benefits. You can use all of the spells that you are able to cast with the spell slots. So yeah.
How are you feeling, Shaw?
Well, I mean we had that talk the other day on the ship where like I had already kind of accepted that they were dead. Seeing it's a whole different thing.
Of course.
I'm still not sure what to do with the bodies right now.
So I'm going to take this moment to say that I'm sure eventually you will all get around to identifying the rest of the items.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the stuffed animal, the stuffed
seconds.
Trixum. Oh,
Oh.
okay. I was going to say the stuffed Tressum is a Strixhaven plush, technically. So you can essentially give yourself, I believe you can give yourself advantage on saving throws against fear effects, but you can only do it once. You'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
The spell scrolls are Phantom Steed, Galder's Speedy Courier, and Galder's Tower. And that's what was in the bag. And I think at this point would be a good time to say that we are going to end the episode on that emotional note. And we will return next week as they all continue through the horrors that is this awful city of Ashenhold.